I'm Margaret Windsor, and I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in '41 and brought to Moulton, Alabama, given the name of a twin, and both twins had been murdered by their mother, and both twins were dead, of course. They were murdered by her. They were born out of wedlock, and it was a pigsty where they put me, and the abuse and everything was so horrific. I wrote a book. I'm giving you just a touch of the background here that I've done on other YouTubes and Facebook, but my Facebook's been hacked, and I can't seem to get it back no matter what I do. I wrote about mind control before I found out about my kidnapping in '83. I'd written a medical malpractice book, 76 till 80, and April Fool 80, I had antifreeze put in me. And that's after I got a letter from the U.S. Attorney, the FBI, of an ongoing investigation, national security involved. And I thought it was because of the doctors and the fact I was writing about mind control, where you can modify behavior, you can program people to run out and shoot and kill. So if you fast forward to today, you can understand the advance. They can mass program armies at this point. And Edward Snowden just touched the tip of the iceberg on it. And look where Mr. Snowden is. Russia took him in. So the point I want to make is my kidnapping and the fact that all of it's been allowed to go on, and a 99-year seal put on my father's illegal takedown. My father's Edward VIII, and I've laid all this out over and over. His own brother, George VI, helped take him down, and that's Elizabeth's father. So they're illegal, and all the treaties that they signed are illegal. In fact, they're traitors and sold out Great Britain. And, my God, the man, he joined with the Freemasons. And I realize now, looking at the Duke of Kent, he's the same relationship to me as to Elizabeth. And he's a Freemason. He's one of the top. He and the Rothschild, Lord, listen to this, Lord Victor Rothschild. The Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Bilderbergers, they're the people in control now. And some of my family joined it when they took down my father and kidnapped me and sent me to a hellhole over here every day of my life. Now then, where am I going with this? Larry FLYNT was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and the person was programmed to shoot him. And a lot of these shootings and murders, it doesn't have to be shootings, were done in patterns. So you'd think one day they'd be told if that was the point. I didn't find out about the kidnapping until '83. But the point I wanted to make at the moment is, after I was flown out to Flint's during the campaign to replace Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, who I had written about in the medical malpractice book. Of course, it got shut down when the antifreeze was put in me, and if there's ever a living hell, that's it. But mine has been ongoing, this mess has, because of who I am and who kidnapped me. And that's why the Warren Commission covered up the JFK. Mind control was used in that murder, and so was in Martin Luther King. I didn't know, but Martin Luther King partnered with JFK. Whole point in all this, my kidnapping and everything, was to take down Great Britain, use us, I should say, as a launching pad to conquer the world, and that's what they've done. Great Britain hostage, me hostage. They've got their own monarch sitting there, Elizabeth and her father, George VI. In any culture, a brother do that to his own brother, who's the king, and then kidnap his daughter. I'm Victoria II, the legal heir, and bring me over here to this country where I've had every inconceivable, and I do mean that, law broken and terror done to me, and then to my sons, Mark and Scott, because of who they are. They're heirs after me. I have no idea where they are. Nobody will touch it. I wanted to get to, after Flint, I was flown out there because Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, that I wrote about, was one of them. The plane went down, and I'm skipping all. There's no way you can put it up. I've tried on other videos and on Facebook. But anyway, Larry McDonald's plane was shot down by the Soviets, Russia jet, me the fighter, when it, August the 31st of 83, when it got off course and flew into their airspace. That's part of what mind control can do. You can put a pilot or an air controller under mind control and have them fly off into the ocean or veer off course as the plane that Larry McDonald was on. That, by the way, in Juneau, Alaska, Nixon was on the same plane that took him off. So you can make your own assumption there. Plane went down and all aboard died, and I was flown out to FLYNT then during the campaign. And I'm going to fast, I was out there twice, and I'd been kept penniless. I mean, I have no civil rights. My jobs were gotten to, besides the antifreeze and all this. I was flown out there, and the first thing that when I walked in, he sent a limo to pick me up at the airport. And when I went in, he said, "You don't have to tell me anything about yourself. I already know everything there is to know." He said, "I know they were going to send you back a vegetable." And I didn't know what he meant, send me back. Now I do. He already knew about my kidnapping and everything, and the antifreeze, because that make a vegetable out of you. I should have died, gone in a coma and died. It was hell. But the second time I went out in October, it was the night of the campaign, and I remember I came in 7 out of 20, and it was kind of a weird special election anyway, if anybody goes back. And this is because of the doctor I'd written about, Larry McDonald, who's a U.S. congressman, head of Western Goals, or I don't know, he's into all kinds of stuff. But anyway, the second time out there, Mr. FLYNT had paid for my ticket out, and I'd gotten first class out, which I'm not even used to flying, and now I haven't had a car in so long, and it's been hell of backpacking on foot, only I can't walk anymore. But anyway, this time he was still nice and everything, but we did this thing. I pushed him in a wheelchair, and supposedly all the rooms, he's role-playing, all the rooms in his house are filled. We finally came to one there at the end, which was his daughter's, and I went to sleep in it, and but then she had to have her room, and then she let me sleep in her room when she found out I was in it and all that. But anyway, the point the next day, there was no room in the inn. That's what he said to me. That was his quote. So, you know, so I'm going to fast forward. Literally, he furnished me a car for a year, and I was, after that, I was on the side of the road. I couldn't get jobs or anything. I came to Roanoke, and I guess what I'm saying is no room in the inn. Every law has been broken. It's like he told me about the parody, or showed me the galley proofs when I was out there that last time that I'm speaking of. And he showed me about Jerry Falwell, the parody he was doing in the magazine. And Jerry Falwell was a reverend next door to me at Liberty University in Lynchburg. I never knew I'd end up in Roanoke, Virginia, living on the side of the mountain, up and down the trail, side of the road, begging for food, a place to stay, trying to leave and run back. Anyway, Mr. FLYNT ended up before then, I believe, in the POF building here in Roanoke, because Jerry Falwell sued him. And anyway, Mr. FLYNT took it to a Supreme Court, and he won freedom of speech. So he's the one that is kind of like, well, he got shot. It's kind of like parody and satire. It's kind of alike, and everybody's talking about freedom of speech. My God, there isn't anybody in the media knew about my kidnapping, my father and my mother, and the lies that were total lies, and a 99-year seal put on his takedown. Where's all this freedom of speech and press that they've had? I'm not even allowed to say my name, really, or breathe fresh air. So that's the thing I'm getting to, other than no room in the inn. It's almost like he knew